I saw this thing on 60 Minutes the other day, and it really ticked me off.
I think if you asked a lot of millennials, and that tends to be our primary resident, they would probably tell you that they don't necessarily desire to own a home or to own a car. If we think the American dream is embodied in a suburban home with a yard and a white picket fence, then I think we're making the American dream much more accessible.
Rent your American dream.
You can rent the American dream.
The owner of a billion-dollar hedge fund was talking about his business model of allowing the American public to rent the American dream instead of buying it. He was trying to tell us that this is the way of the future, and this is a good thing that we should all be excited about. And it ticks me off. You see, it's personal for me. My great-grandma came here all the way from Ireland in 1903 to escape a genocide, and because she couldn't own land. She became an indentured servant and had to work off her servitude for 7 years to earn the right to own land, which she did. And I grew up on that land, riding motorcycles, sometimes crashing them, being lost in land and music and song when my parents were getting on my nerves. And it was the freedom, that experience, and the ownership that nobody could take away. The idea of renting the American dream is actually just going back to 1400s England, where we escaped. It's just regressive thinking. Just like the story of my ancestors, I'm sure you have your own ancestor stories as well. Our ancestors who came here to America for the freedom, for the American dream. And after all of that, all the lives and all the sacrifice our ancestors made, we're just going to give it away to an investor? If you've been waiting to time the market to buy or sell a home, well, guess what? Ding, ding, ding! Here it is. It's time. Now is the time. We are technically in a market shift right now. And if you could go back in a DeLorean and go back to March of 2005, we would have had all the indicators of a shifting market. And if we would have gone back to October or November of 2005, we would have seen that we were technically in the shift. Yet, we didn't hear any news of this 2 years later to 2007. So while we knew in 2005 all the markers that we were in a shifting market, the public didn't find out for 2 years later. Now fast forward to today. We are in the beginning stages of a market shift. Now, real estate takes a long time to change. Even though we're transitioning from a seller's market very, very, very slowly into a buyer's market, the public may not feel it. The news doesn't report on this until after it's happened. Now we're so far from a balanced market, we won't even be hearing this news until 2 years from now. Now here we are today, April of 2022. We are seeing all of the telltale indicators that the media won't tell you about 2024. Because they want to buy the homes and rent them out to you. Now, by looking at the most important indicators, supply, demand, basic economics, we are so far from balance, but we do have all the leading indicators to tell us pretty much how we can expect the next year, this year, 2022, and next year to go. It's back to the tried and long-term real estate strategies again. And that is always a basic truth of real estate. This is why I keep saying we are in the renaissance of real estate. We are rediscovering the basic truths and using them to propel us forward to the future. But change isn't always easy. We are in an affordable market, but there is a lack of affordable homes for sale. So what does that mean? Affordable homes are homes priced under $350,000. That generally half of the general population could afford currently. The average price home sale in Phoenix today is $457,000, of which 46% of the general population can afford. But you can afford $2,000 a month in rent, according to the hedge funds, when a mortgage rate on a $457,000 home is less than that. I know there's a lot of sticker shock going around right now, including myself. The reality is a home is worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. And an appraisal is just a past history of what a home was worth. You might feel that you're overpaying for a home today, But in a few months, you won't feel that way, most likely. I have people on my team that are in escrow right now, waiting to close, already with equity in their home. $20,000 of equity before close of escrow. What other investments can you get on a same-day return? And compounding returns at that. Equity gives you choices, freedom, and a chance to change the legacy of your family today and for generations to come. In case you don't know me by now, I'm Jennifer Weiner, 18 years real estate vet, team leader of my group, the Weiner Group, brokered by eXp Realty. I've helped over 3,000 families achieve the American dream. Now, if you want to create generational wealth, give me a call. If you want to sell to a hedge fund, then you really need to call me.